Okay, you've definitely seen this plant everywhere. I mean, it's trailing from shelves in your favorite coffee shop. It's brightening up that quiet corner in the office. It's the Golden Pothos. You might know it as the money plant, or maybe even devil's ivy. And yeah, it's famously easy to take care of, but there's so much more to it. This little guy has some pretty amazing secrets, from cleaning the air you breathe to maybe, just maybe, boosting your good fortune.
So, are you on the hunt for that perfect houseplant? Well, if you're looking for something that's super forgiving for beginners but still really satisfying for the pros, your search might just be over.
Because really, this plant is a triple threat. It's not just about looking good. In this explainer, we're going to dive into how this one plant does so much more than just sit there looking pretty. We're talking about how it literally cleans your air, how it can brighten up even the dullest space, and, yeah, we'll get into this, how some ancient traditions say it can actually attract prosperity. So let's get right into it. All right, first things first. What is this plant really, and why all the different names? I mean, where does that whole money plant thing even come from? Well, the Golden Pothos actually comes from way out in the tropical forests of the Solomon Islands. Picture this. In the wild, it's this incredible climber, using these special roots to crawl right up massive trees, just trying to get to the sunlight. And that wild, rugged spirit, that's exactly why it's so tough and adaptable in our homes. It's built to survive. So that money plant nickname, where did that come from? It's actually rooted in some pretty ancient practices, like Feng Shui from China and Vastu Shastra from India. In both of these traditions, the pothos is seen as a powerhouse of positive energy. The thinking is pretty simple, actually. Its lush, green vines are always growing, always reaching, and that's supposed to symbolize continuous growth and prosperity in your life. Kinda cool, right? Okay, let's get to the really practical stuff. How to actually keep your pothos happy and thriving. And trust me, it's so simple. We're just gonna break down the two absolute essentials: light and water. You know, one of the absolute best things about pothos is how chill it is about light. Just look at this. It's super clear. If you give it some nice, bright, indirect light, you get rewarded with those beautiful, splashy golden leaves. But hey, if all you've got is a dimmer corner, that's fine too. The leaves will just become a richer, solid green. The only real rule here, the one thing to remember, is to keep it out of harsh, direct sun. That's a surefire way to burn its leaves. All right, everybody, lean in for this one because this is it. This is the #1 mistake pretty much everyone makes with these plants. If there's one way to kill a perfectly happy pothos, it's by loving it too much. With water, that is.
So why is overwatering so bad? Well, it leads to this nasty thing called root rot. Basically, if the roots are just sitting in a puddle of water, they can't breathe. They literally drown. Then they start to decay, and once that happens, it is really tough to save the plant. That's why having a pot with good drainage isn't just a suggestion, it's a must. So how do you get it right? Super simple. Rule 1, check the soil. Just stick your finger about an inch down. If it feels dry, go ahead and water it. Rule 2, make sure that pot has drainage holes at the bottom. Always. And rule 3, in the winter, the plant kind of chills out, so you should too. Water it less often. Oh, and a little bonus tip. It loves warmth and humidity. That's why it's the absolute perfect plant for your bathroom. Okay. So you've got the basics down, your plant is alive, congratulations. Now, this is where we get to have some real fun. We're going to move beyond just being a caretaker and become a creator. We're talking about shaping your plant and, yes, making brand new plants for free. So, does your pothos look a little leggy, kind of long and stringy? Don't be afraid to give it a haircut. Seriously, pruning is your best friend here. All you do is find a vine and snip it right after a leaf node. That's just the little nub where a leaf is attached. When you do that, you're basically telling the plant, hey, grow some new branches here, and that's how you get a much fuller, bushier plant. And here's the best part. Do not throw those cuttings away. This is where the magic happens. Making new pothos plants is so easy, it feels like cheating. Just follow these 3 steps. 1, take your cutting. Make sure it has at least 1 leaf and that little node we talked about. 2, stick it in a jar of water. That's it. And 3, just wait. In a couple of weeks, you'll see roots start to sprout. Once they're about an inch long, you can pop it in some soil, and boom, you just made a whole new plant from scratch. And because they're so easy to grow, you can get really creative with styling. Imagine one cascading down from a hanging planter or draping its vines all the way across a bookshelf.
You can even just let them grow in a cool glass jar of water. And like we said before, they are so happy in a steamy bathroom. The possibilities are endless. All right, let's wrap this up by talking about troubleshooting and the awesome rewards. We're going to cover how to figure out what your plant is trying to tell you, and we'll circle back to one of the biggest and coolest benefits of having a pothos around. Okay, here's a seriously amazing fact for you. Your little pothos, it isn't just a decoration. It's a tiny, hardworking, natural air purifier. And this isn't some old wives' tale. This was actually confirmed by a famous study done by NASA. Yeah, that NASA. They were looking for ways to clean the air on space stations, and this plant was one of their superstars. So what's it actually cleaning out of the air? It's actively filtering out some pretty nasty stuff. Common household toxins like formaldehyde, which can come from your furniture or your floors, and others like xylene and benzene. So yeah, your little plant is literally making your home a healthier place to breathe.
You know, your pothos is actually great at talking to you. You just need to learn its language. And this little chart, it's basically your translator. So if you see yellow leaves, 9 times out of 10, you're overwatering. If the whole plant is just looking sad and droopy, it's probably thirsty. And if you're getting those crispy brown edges, the air might be too dry or it's getting a little too much direct sun. At the end of the day, the Golden Pothos really is like your best plant friend. It's super forgiving when you mess up. It grows fast enough that you actually feel like you're accomplishing something. And I don't know, there's just something so calming about having that splash of green and gold in your home. So whether you want one for its looks, its air-purifying superpowers, or even for a little bit of good luck, the Golden Pothos is just a great reminder that the best things in life, well, they take a little time and care. Because sometimes real prosperity doesn't just come from luck, it grows, one leaf at a time.